Anyway, Star Wars. We are now ranking every Star Wars project. Sadly, I'm gonna have to leave certain ones out of this, like the Clone Wars and Rebels and the Resistance. I have not seen all of Clone Wars yet, sadly. I haven't had the time. I think it's really cool from what I've seen so far, but it's a bit of a time sink because there's a lot of episodes. So I can't really rank them. So sadly, I'm gonna have to put them like at the bottom. I also haven't seen stuff like The Bad Batch or like Rebels and the Resistance, like I said. So that's going at the bottom. Anyway, right off the bat, I don't want to start with the spin-off stuff. I want to start with like the main movies. So where is Phantom Menace? Okay, cool. Phantom Menace, I want to love, but I hate it. I think it's one of the most boring Star Wars movies of all time. The best part about it is the final act where they're fighting against Darth Maul. Like, genuinely. So I'm gonna say D, not good. Because at least, at least it has original ideas. You know what I mean? And I think that that's foreshadowing for as we go down this list. Next up, we have, where is, I gotta put Rebels down here. Where is the second movie? Here it is. Episode 2 is okay. It's not as bad as Phantom Menace, but it has a lot more redeeming qualities, and they kind of found their footing with the second prequel, right? However, Revenge of the Sith is in A territory. I genuinely think not only is it the best prequel, but it's one of my more interested, like one of my more favorite Star Wars movies, especially upon multiple rewatches. The more I rewatch this movie, the more I like it. And I know that that's pretty whack to say because a lot of people think the prequels are horrible, but over time I've really grown to like the third movie. Last YouTuber suggestion is Andrew Cunningham and Half-Bred Chaos. Both do Deltarune theory crafting videos, and both are funny and neat editing styles. Very nice stuff. Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, Star Wars. God, I want to watch stream right now, but I'm at work. Oh, I'm sorry, Lab Fox Games. How about you quit your job and watch stream? Revenge of the Sith at General Grievous for me. Yeah, it's so weird, right? General Grievous is so emphasized in the Clone Wars, you would think that he's a bigger part of the prequel trilogy, but he's not. He only shows up in one movie. Like, one movie total across all of Star Wars. Isn't that nuts? I want to stream myself, not watch them. I'm watching yours. Oh, okay. Well, then stay here. Don't stream. Don't be competition. You gotta watch me, right? Yeah, we're you know, we're hanging out, you know. Also, Revenge of the Sith has one of the best soundtracks of any Star Wars film. What's the name of the composer for Star Wars? Like all the major Star Wars movies. I always forget his name. Williams, John Williams. Yeah, John Williams. Dude, John Williams popped his pussy on the third prequel. He popped his pussy in the club, as the kids say. It's like this is how it feels to chew 5 gum, but Star Wars. Yeah, it does kind of suck. General Grievous, although he's like an amazing character and character design, he shows up in one movie and then dies. I wish that they could do more with him. But we'll wait for the eventual Disney Plus General Grievous show, because that'll happen eventually. We all know it will. They'll scrape the bottom of the barrel. I haven't seen Solo: A Star Wars Story, so I can't rank it, sadly. So I'm gonna have to put it down below. I hear mixed opinions. It's either the best, it's one of the better Star Wars spin-off things after Disney got it, or it's one of the worst. There's like no in between for people. However, what I can say, the next one, Rogue One, S tier. Rogue One is probably one of the best Star Wars movies. Hands down. Me and all of my friends agree on this. It is not only, unlike other Star Wars movies, not only is it self-contained, it has one of the best ending sequences of any Star Wars film ever. The final fight is one of the most engaging scenes I've ever seen in any Star Wars movie. Like, this Rogue One is how you do a prequel. Technically, I guess you could consider it a prequel, but technically it's like a more of a spin-off. You've never seen Rogue One? Dude, watch Rogue One. I made the mistake of, when I originally watched Rogue One, I thought it was mid. I was like, I don't really care, right? I watched it a second time when I got a bit older. Like, I watched it again in the past year. Dude, it's like so good. The first half is kind of iffy, but the second half not only makes up for it, but it's just some of the best Star Wars content we've ever gotten. Hands down, dude. Hands down. And like, I like episode 3 in kind of an ironic way a lot, but Rogue One I like unironically. And that is so rare for Star Wars, you know? I don't like it only because I was forced to watch it 5 times. Who the fuck was forcing you to watch this 5 times? What the fuck? Also, as if it needs to be said, the ending scene of Rogue One, where Darth Vader just like murks those fucking rebels. Oh my god, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Some of the coolest fucking Star Wars content. Oh my, please give us more Darth Vader being a badass in movies and shows. I'm hoping that the Obi-Wan show gives us that. Like, I want that so bad. I know it wouldn't make much sense because I don't think that Darth Vader and Obi-Wan like met before episode 4 again. But like, Darth Vader went so hard in this movie. Oh my god. Whenever I watch that scene, I come. Like, it's not even like, wow, that was good sex kind of come. It was like, oh my god. The most forceful ejaculation you have ever seen in your life. It's so good. Like, literally, I die. It's like Rogue One, right? They knew how good the second half of the movie was. And they were like, you know what would make this better? If one of the last things that you see before the credits is Darth Vader doing the coolest shit you've ever seen. Like, oh my god, I wish I could play it on stream right now. It's so good. It's so good. It went so hard. And it ties in super well to like just all of the Star Wars movies. And it also works as like a really good standalone movie too. Like, you don't really need to watch a lot of Star Wars stuff to enjoy Rogue One. But I think Rogue One in a lot of ways is enhanced by watching Star Wars stuff too on the other side of the spectrum. Just, oh my god, like, chef's kiss. God, so good. Okay, enough coming. Let's come some more with Mandalorian. Except I can't talk about Mandalorian yet because we're doing it in order, kind of. So, I'm not going to talk about Mandalorian quite yet. I'm going to talk about Star Wars Episode 4. The name here. What is name? A New Hope. A New Hope. Yep, sorry. I knew that. I know Star Wars. I love Star Wars. That also goes in S. And you know what's wild to me? I love A New Hope. I do. And I think for the time, it was such a big deal when it came out. I don't think it's better than Rogue One. It's really hard to get better than Rogue One in my eyes. It's hard. So yeah, no, I still think Rogue One is packing, but New Hope is still really close. Because of just all the cool shit. Isn't Rebels technically before Rogue One, or are we doing movies first? Oh, I'm not doing Rebels because I didn't watch Rebels, so I can't rate it. I haven't really watched a lot of the TV show stuff, specifically the animated stuff. I haven't really watched it, sadly. That includes Clone Wars, so I can't really rate it. So yeah, I'm really only doing the movies, except for like the live action Star Wars TV stuff, because I have seen that. Guys, I can't stop thinking about Darth Vader. Help. Dude. Oh, no, wait. No, I misread that. Guys, I can't stop thinking about Darth Vader hard. Help. Okay, so that word vastly changes that sentence. Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I can tell you, this is kind of confusing since they're, like, still there. I can't really get rid of them. Unless there's, like, a... No, there's... I can search with Google Lens. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So yeah, definitely. I'm going to change S. Instead of best, I'm going to say wizard. Do you guys know that word? In the Star Wars canon, when something is cool, they don't call it cool. They call it wizard. There's 2 specific instances that this happens. In Phantom Menace, one of Anakin's friends on Tatooine is like, "This is totally wizard, Anakin." And in the Mandalorian season 2, or no, Boba Fett, the Mandalorian is like, it's like, "That was wizard." So that is what I will be calling it. This tier list is so wizard. I close Twitch for 5 seconds and I come back to you saying forceful ejaculation. Listen, Rogue One's good. So yeah, A New Hope is S, but I don't think... Like, I recognize it for a couple of things. I think it's an amazing sci-fi film. Sci-fi action adventure. I think it's probably one of the best Star Wars movies of all time. But I still think that Rogue One just... It perfected so many little things that I didn't even know I needed. For a movie that doesn't have Jedi in it, Rogue One is like... It's just so Star Wars. It's so Star Wars. The director knew the fucking assignment. That will not be the last time I compliment Rogue One tonight, I swear. It will happen again. Next up, we have... where is the second movie? Where's the second movie? Oh, here it is. Oh, no, there's the third movie. Where's the second one? Oh, here it is. Empire Strikes Back. Also, I think that Empire Strikes Back is higher. It sucks, right? Because I think I would rate it higher if I went in without knowing the twist in Empire Strikes Back, you know? Because everybody knows the famous twist, Darth Vader is Luke's dad. But imagine watching this movie now without that knowledge. Imagine how crazy that would be, dude. Like, obviously, I'm kind of over-exaggerating. But, like, there's so many of these movies now. Like, this has got to still be one of the biggest twists. Darth Vader is what? Oh, humble squid. Come on. You know that. Everybody knows that. Don't fuck with me. But yeah, Empire Strikes Back. I think that Rogue One and Empire Strikes Back are kind of tied for me. I don't think that Empire Strikes Back is the best movie. I think that still goes to New Hope. But I think just based off of the cool Star Wars shit, I think Empire Strikes Back has New Hope beaten. It just has more cool Star Wars shit in it. It's not necessarily the better movie, but it's like the better Star Wars movie, you know? The twist is kind of ruined though, because literally everyone knows it. Yeah, George Lucas kind of fucked that one up. But hey, the prequels are still kind of fun. Kind of. I say as I have 2 of them really low. Anyway. What's next? Oh, here we go. I keep forgetting the names of these. Because I get bitches. But, yeah, I think... Honestly, I'm gonna put this below... Yeah, so, episode 6. Episode 6, right? It's good, it's fun, it has a great ending, but it's slow. It's slow. You know what I mean? it's really good in the beginning and really good at the end, I feel like. Like, the whole scene, the build up to them, it's just slow in weird areas. Like, the build up to them finally rescuing Han is a little bit slow. I like how it's kind of a time skip, so we can see, like, how the characters have grown. Like, Luke is a lot, like, more mature. You know, he's got, like, the cool green lightsaber. I like that, I do. But it just, it's too slow for me sometimes. Really, my favorite scenes are just, like, the whole ending sequence and the beginning sequence when they save Han. And then Luke does, like, the cool Jedi trick where he jumps off the plank and he gets the lightsaber. It's great. It's iconic. But beyond that, yeah. However, though, Mark Hamill, man. Mark Hamill's a handsome motherfucker. Especially when he was younger. Like, ooh, man. Oh, mama. He's a handsome dude. And I'm glad that more and more people recognize that as time goes on. Because, like, in the culture today where, like, everybody's like, ooh, zaddy and shit like that. Like, hey, where was that love for Mark Hamill? Mark Hamill's a handsome motherfucker. Anyway. Enough of me simping. Next up, we got the sequel trilogy. Okay, I have opinions about these movies. Various opinions. Some you will agree with, some you won't. Let's just get this out of the way. Star Wars The Force Awakens it's still an A. No, I'm gonna put it in B. It's good, but it's not like it doesn't break new ground. You know what I mean? I don't hate it like other people do. I don't hate the sequel trilogy vehemently like the rest of the internet does, like all the chuds across the internet. Is chud the right word? I'm gonna look that up. Chud, an unattractive person whose defining characteristic of their personality is their egotism. Yeah, no, I would say that exemplifies a lot of Star Wars fans. But yeah, no. So basically, Star Wars The Force Awakens is not the best Star Wars movie of all time, but it's also not the worst. It retreads a lot of the same ground, but it does so in a very respectful way, I think. Like, a lot of people shit on it too much for, like, quote-unquote stealing too many ideas from the original New Hope, but like it feels a lot more like an homage to, like, kind of ease people into these new characters, and I like it. I think it's cute, and I also think that the final fight of the movie is really good. Now, I'll probably talk about this more as we go down the list a little bit more. Finn got done so fucking dirty, man. Finn is my favorite character from the sequel trilogy. He's the most complicated, the most interesting. When Force Awakens started, and it was clear that the main character was going to be a reformed stormtrooper, I was so hyped, dude. I was so hyped. That is such a cool idea. And all of the posters had, like, Finn holding the blue lightsaber, so I was like, oh my god, Finn is going to be like the main character. He's gonna have the lightsaber, and he's gonna, like, oh my god, a reformed stormtrooper becoming a Jedi is such a cool idea. And he doesn't become a Jedi in the later movies. He should have become a Jedi. I'm not gonna be one of those guys out there that's like, I hate Rey because she's a woman and too powerful. My brain small and pee-pee small. No, I'm not gonna say that. But what I am saying is that Finn got the short end of the stick, and honestly, if I'm being real, should have been the main character of the sequel trilogy. I'll say it. I think just in general, he had a lot more going on than Rey. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't hate Rey as much as other people. Like, I love Rey, I do. But I love Finn more. And I think Finn just completely, they fucked up his character so much. And even oh my god, John Boyega. Even John Boyega knows they fucked up Finn. John Boyega, I don't think will ever do another Star Wars related project in his entire life. And that hurts me so bad because just he deserved so much better. He did. Especially because Star Wars, like, I feel like I'm not like stepping on any toes by saying this, but like the fact that Star Wars only has like just a small handful of like people of color compared to white people is insane. It is insane. Like all of the main characters are white, and it like all of the cool characters, like Lando Calrissian is cool, John Boyega is cool. Or I just said John Boyega like he's a character. Like Finn is cool. Can you believe that John Boyega was done simultaneously dirty by Star Wars and Pacific Rim? I can't. John Boyega is such an amazing actor. He's such an amazing actor. It pisses me off to no end. Dude, fucking... I was talking about, like, cool black Star Wars characters. Fucking Mace Windu they did dirty. Like, Samuel L. Jackson wants to come back to play Mace Windu again. And Disney's like, no, we're not gonna do it. It's like, dude, give Samuel L. Jackson some Mace Windu shit. I love Mace Windu. He's so cool. What the fuck is up with Star Wars and like completely shafting any people of color? It's like, it pisses me off. Because like, let's be real, all of the characters I just mentioned are insanely cool. Mace Windu, fucking Lando Calrissian. Like, imagine this. Imagine being the guy who plays Lando Calrissian and being like the only black Star Wars character for years. I don't know what's up with these movies a lot of the time, and I don't know. I swear to God. I hope that one day John Boyega gets proper justice, because I'm still pissy about it to this day. You know, it's funny. Like, I'll go back to what I was saying about Mace Windu. For a series like Star Wars that constantly revives characters that have been confirmed to be dead, like Palpatine and Darth Maul, just out of nowhere, just because they feel like it. For a series that revives so many of these characters just on the fly, why not Mace Windu? Why can't they do it? Dude just fell out of a window. That's like the worst thing that happened to him. He got shocked by electricity, he fell out a window. You could easily write any sort of explanation for the fact that he could still be alive. Like, come on. And then, oh my god, okay, we'll get to this when we get to Rise of Skywalker, but oh my god, I have so much to say about Rise of Skywalker. Ugh. Anyway. So, next up, we have Star Wars... Oh my god, what is the second sequel trilogy film called? Star Wars... The Last Jedi, right? The Last Jedi? So, The Last Jedi... When this movie came out, people gave it so much shit. So much shit. Because it wasn't the best Star Wars movie of all time. It did something vastly different than what people were expecting. And that pissed people off. Because, like, oh, if they're going to do the same route of the original trilogy, they have the big twist in the second movie. And they didn't really have that. The big twist was that there was no big twist. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I thought that was cool. It showed that, like, at first, right? With the first sequel trilogy movie, they're showing, oh, it's more of the same. Like, you know, it's more of the same. So don't worry about it being different. And then out of nowhere, Last Jedi snaps you out of that, and it's like, no, it is a familiar universe of characters, but we're not going to do the same thing again. And they kind of get you. Now, I will say, Last Jedi is not the best Star Wars movie by a long shot. I think it's better than Force Awakens, but it's definitely below the third movie of the prequels and the third movie of the original trilogy. But I still think it is good. Genuinely, I do. And I think it has some amazing scenes. Like, a lot of people thought that they did Luke dirty. I don't think that they did. I think that they made Luke interesting, and that's what scared people. It's like, oh no, Luke isn't exactly the same after the original trilogy? Boy, like, oh, shut up. Cry about it. But yeah, the whole Casino Planet subplot was actually pretty lame, though, I will say. Also, the random... I don't even know what happened to this character, but there was a character in Last Jedi that, like, betrayed the main team. He was, like, a guy who was, like, a scumbag or something, like a scumbag on the Casino Planet, and he betrayed them and sold them out. What happened to that guy? Like, he just left. Was his name DJ? He just left. He just showed up and left. Like, he was just a plot device. He died? Wait, his character died? Where? I don't remember that. Did he die off screen? Bro, the end of Last Jedi shows a kid on the Casino Planet using a force to grab a broom, and that is not brought up again. Well, it doesn't need to be, right? What Last Jedi does is it breaks conventions in a way that I feel like was still kind of satisfying to me. Like, when I watched it, I was shocked, but not in a negative way. I think a lot of people went out of it with a really negative opinion because they didn't think it was what they wanted. But I don't know, to me, it felt like they were going in a totally different direction, and I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, oh shit, I don't even know what's going to happen in the third movie. Now, in retrospect, I can say the third movie was garbage. It's one of the worst Star Wars things ever created, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson got so much shit for no reason. He did good. He did good with the second movie. I think he did. And if they followed up on the promises that the second movie made, I think that this trilogy would be seen in a lot better of a state than it is. But yeah. So yeah, I think that Rian Johnson did good, and he expanded the lore and the universe in an interesting way. I'll say it. Also, the scene where Kylo and Rey are cutting down all of those dudes and like the like red chamber is some of the coolest stuff that this entire trilogy had. That and Luke using like projecting himself with the Force, that whole scene was amazing. Disney should have made Johnson handle the direction of the trilogy. Apparently, I don't think I'm getting this wrong. Isn't Rian Johnson getting his own trilogy? His own Star Wars trilogy? I'm excited for that. I don't know if that's still happening, but I know he was promised that. Am I right on that? I think I am. If that's true, like if he gets a full control over a trilogy, I think it could potentially like redeem Star Wars movies again. He signed on for it, but now he's signed on to a lot of Knives Out stuff too. Oh, okay. I mean, I love Knives Out. That's a whole different conversation. Another trilogy? Yeah, they're okay. So Disney has confirmed that now the quote-unquote Skywalker saga is over. So the three trilogies, the trilogy of trilogies, as I will call it, the prequels, the original trilogy, and the sequel trilogy are all part of the quote-unquote Skywalker saga, which is also what the recent Lego game is named after, the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. That is like its own complete story. Now Disney, for movies going forward, are going to do something completely different. It'll still be set in the Star Wars universe. It's just probably not going to be connected to the Skywalker saga that much. There might be a couple of returning characters, but it's going to be like new characters, new story, new trilogy. So that sounds really exciting to me, especially after, you know, what they did with the sequel trilogy. I fucking hated it, but yeah. Knives Out, like the movie that came out years ago. Yeah, there's going to be a new Knives Out movie, and it's going to be a whole new cast. And it's like a pseudo sequel. I think the only character that's returning is the detective from the first movie. I think they're trying to make it like an anthology franchise where like the detective guy is the only character that returns, and he's like the detective in all these other cases. Yeah, it's like a whole new cast. I'm actually really excited about it. Knives Out was probably one of my favorite mystery, like murder mystery movies ever. Yeah, like a Sherlock Holmes type of thing. Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, back to Star Wars. Anthology, that can work out for a mystery thing. Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm so excited about it. Cocks Out too, baby. Yeah, Cocks Out. Dude, that could be a really good porn parody name for Knives Out porn parody. If that hasn't been made already, they should make it for the second movie. Oh no, this woman has died. And look, there's a cock-shaped stab wound in her chest. Only one person can have a cock that large. And it's you, Nathaniel.
Me? But my penis is small, see?
That's true. But which one of us has the biggest cock? I guess everybody needs to lower their pants right now. Sadly, I'm blind, so I can only feel how big the cock is. So everybody pull down your pants, and I'm going to feel each of your penises to see who has the biggest one. Sadly, my sense of touch is also impaired, so I'll have to put each of them in my mouth. Absolute, the greatest detective of all time. Cocks Out has the old man boning in Caretaker when he dies and he climaxes. So the old man boning the Caretaker and then he just dies as he climaxes, and that's like the start of the porn parody. Yes. What if the killer is a grower, not a shower? Oh, now you're thinking. Now you guys are thinking. I like where your heads are at. Cocks Out. I can't get this porn parody out of my mind. You thought he was coming, but he was leaving. That's how he gets away with it. Salty, write a script for Cocks Out and do a table read, dude. Maybe that would be kind of fun. That would be pretty funny. Man, Star Wars got really weird over the years. Okay, yeah, let's get back to Star Wars. Sorry, I get so sidetracked on during these streams. Apologies. Next up. Oh yeah, wait, we got Rise of Skywalker. Okay, F. It's somehow even worse than Phantom Menace, and that's saying something. I don't think I've seen or met a single person that is like, Rise of Skywalker is a good film. Like, even people that have zero taste. Episode 9 is S tier because the homophobic slug. Yeah, no, okay, so Episode 9's only redeeming quality is that it has Claude. You know, Claude the alien. The one with the fucked up face. Episode 9 is one of the worst Star Wars properties of all time. Because instead of doubling down after Last Jedi, they instead tried to course correct into what they thought that people wanted, and they did that in such a dumb way that nobody wanted. They were like, well, what are Star Wars fans like? Oh, they like Emperor Palpatine, let's bring him back. Why are we bringing him back? I don't know, he just came back. It's so fucking long, it has so many plot points. Yeah, there's so much about Rise of Skywalker that doesn't work. One of them being that they really tried to shoehorn in Carrie Fisher's character, Princess Leia. I don't know why I said it like that. They tried to get Princess Leia into the story for a while, and they couldn't because Carrie Fisher died during production. So they were like trying to like write around that, and it didn't work, and it made it really unsatisfying. Like, what a horrible send-off for Princess Leia, that movie. Like, oh my god. I feel so bad. I think Last Jedi was a better send-off to Carrie Fisher than whatever the fuck Episode 9 was. Have you ever read the Colin Trevorrow draft of Episode 9 where Rey was a robot? No, and that sounds horrible. So I will not be reading it. Wait, let me drink some water. Jenny Nicholson did a video on it. I mean, hey, if it's a Jenny Nicholson video, I'll watch it. I love her videos. Okay, what else do I hate about Episode 9? Oh yeah, So, Reylo canon, everybody for the past 3 sequel movies, I shouldn't say everybody, it was people that have zero taste. People who have zero taste were shipping Rey and Kylo Ren. That is the single worst ship ever. Reylo is just, it's so bad. It's not a good ship. There's no reason for it to exist. Rey and Kylo have no good romantic, romance at all throughout 3 of these movies. And for some reason, oh my god, what is the name of the guy who directed episode 9 and episode 7? He also did the Star Trek movies. Oh my god, I always forget people's names, Jesus. J.J. Abrams, yeah. I hate J.J. Abrams with a burning passion. People hate George Lucas for the prequels, but J.J. Abrams single-handedly, destroyed my interest in this franchise after episode 9 came out. Oh my god, how could I forget? You can't actually even understand how Palpatine came back whatsoever unless you played Fortnite. That's right. There's exclusive canon plot information that was left out of episode 9. So in the title crawl for episode 9, they talk about how there was a mysterious broadcast sent all across the galaxy by Palpatine announcing his return, that he had somehow survived the explosion of the Death Star. And I shit you not, that broadcast was recorded by the guy who plays Palpatine. It was originally going to be in the episode 9 movie, but they cut it for time, which is one of the dumbest decisions I could have ever think. It's all about, show don't tell, right? You're supposed to show these things and not just use the title crawl to fill in the fucking gaps. The title crawl is supposed to set the stage and just tell you, little minuscule things that happened off screen, right? And just set you up for the story going forward. Realistically, you don't even have to read the title crawls to understand what's going on. But for episode 9, you have to, because it makes no sense without it. So they explain in the title crawl that this broadcast happened, but they cut it out of the movie. So you might be asking, how do I know that the broadcast is real and it's been recorded by Palpatine, or the guy that plays Palpatine? It's because it was exclusive to a Fortnite event that was happening when episode 9 was in theaters. If you played Fortnite during this event, you got to hear the broadcast with a bunch of other people playing. So technically, if you want the full episode 9 experience, you needed to play Fortnite before watching episode 9. I shit you not. And you know what sucks is that I don't even think that we have that audio isolated. The only way that you can listen to that audio now is if you watch old recordings of it, of people playing Fortnite when the audio happened. Isn't that batshit insane? Do you think that George Lucas, when he was making the prequels, was like, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do, Lucasfilm? I have this idea for the prequels. We're gonna do a tie-in with Super Mario. And I'm gonna have an exclusive event in the new Super Mario game where it's gonna be Mario when you're jumping around as Mario on May 17th. There will be an audio that plays while you're jumping around as Mario. And that audio is gonna be very vital to the plotline of episode 3. And it's gonna hint at the future of Star Wars. And we're gonna only have it in a Mario game. Thank God Star Wars was saved by people like Jon Favreau. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Let's get into that now. Okay, so we're clear on episode 9 is the fucking worst. Also, it retroactively made other movies worse. I don't want to harp on this too long. I want to move on, but the final scene when Rey is fighting Palpatine, her power scaling is fucking insane. Also, I completely forgot. There's so much to talk about. This movie introduced force healing. That was not a thing before this movie came out. Out of nowhere, Rey can just heal people with the force, which is I don't want to say that Rey is a Mary Sue. I don't, because I feel like that's like a lazy word by people that is kind of like a blanket term to describe like all female characters who know how to do things. But that, come on, that is a Mary Sue thing. It was, just not in the movies. Okay, it was, but just not in the movies. But it just comes out of nowhere. She doesn't like develop it and it's explained. It just happens. And if you don't think that that's overpowered, then at the end of the movie, she kills Palpatine with the power of being overpowered and just fucking diverts his lightning back at him, which is like, come on. Like, I know that there's not much you could have done there, but like, do literally fucking anything else. The whole reason that she wins is because she is more powerful. Like, it feels like two kids arguing on the playground. It's like, okay, so I throw my lightning force at you. Pew, 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 pew. And the other kid is like, oh yeah, well, I take that lightning and I throw it back at you. Pew, 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 pew. Like, that's what it feels like. I do like how, like, all of the other Jedi talk to her and they root for her, like, through the Force. I like that because we got, like, cool cameos of a bunch of other characters, right? And I think, in retrospect, right? I always say in retrospect, I gotta stop saying that. You can kind of come to the conclusion that that wasn't her doing all of the strength. It could be every Force user, both in death and currently alive, like channeling their Force power through her so that she could win. Like, you could explain it like that, and that automatically makes that entire fight better, because she's just way too powerful for some reason in that fight. I don't get it. I don't mind Rey. I truly don't. But that scene irks me so bad, because in retrospect, it makes everybody else seem fucking wimpy. Oh, but guys, we can't forget, Rise of Skywalker features the first gay Star Wars characters. Now, of course, they're only on screen for 2 frames, and they can be easily cut out of foreign versions of the film. But, you know, they're there, and guess what, guys? You will not believe this. They hug. 2 women hug on screen. I know. Like, calm down. I know, it's crazy. Aren't there gay characters in Legends? Yeah, but that doesn't matter. We're talking about, like, in the movies. Dude, do you think I'm gonna... you think I'm gonna congratulate Star Wars? Like, guys, oh my god. Thank God, Star Wars finally had their first gay characters in the extended lore in the comic books for 3 panels. The first gay Star Wars characters, everybody, in 3 panels. You know, like, it's much cooler when they're in the movies. I know, I was just curious. Yeah, I know, I'm just giving you shit. But yeah, it's just... I hate Rise of Skywalker. I hate it so much. And it could have been so good, is the problem. Like, it could have been amazing. Also, I can't believe I fucking glossed over this. One last thing about Rise of Skywalker before we move on. They retconned Last Jedi. Last Jedi is like, Rey, you are a nobody. You're not the chosen one. You're a nobody. Like, why would you be special? You're a nobody. And I, for one, thought... At first, I was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing that she has no connection to anybody. But then I was like, wait a second. That's actually really cool. It breaks conventions in a cool way. Because then that means that anybody can be the hero. This entire time, we all thought that you had to be destined or, like, had to use the Force to be a hero or be a Jedi to be the chosen one hero. But no. You could just be a guy and save the day. You know? And it was really cool. And then in Rise of Skywalker, they're like, actually, no, we're gonna do the big twist, the big Darth Vader twist last minute and say that you're related to Palpatine. Which, in theory, when you pitch that, there's already red flags, right? Like, I get why having somebody be related to Emperor Palpatine is a cool idea. But having Rey be related to Palpatine, and only revealing that in the last movie, literally, like, there's only an hour left in the movie. How are we supposed to process that? If it was revealed in the second movie, I feel like it would be a lot better, but I still don't like it. I liked the fact that Rey was a nobody. It was kind of like when you watched Into the Spider-Verse, right? And it felt like anybody could be Spider-Man. Like, you could wear the mask. Like, that was the whole thing in the movie. And that's what it felt like to me with Last Jedi. It's like anybody could be Rey. Anybody could be the chosen hero. The chosen one stuff is just bullshit. And that would have been fine. And then they went back on it because they thought that's what audiences wanted, and it's not what we wanted. All in all, the sequel trilogy fucking bombed. It starts out pretty okay. It gets kind of good with Last Jedi, and then it fucking bombs. What else can I say about this? Anything else? Closing statements. J.J. Abrams can suck my ass. Rian Johnson gets too much hate. I love that man. I love everything that I've seen from him. And also, it was revealed after Last Jedi, or not Last Jedi. It was revealed after Rise of Skywalker came out that they went in without any idea what they were gonna do for the sequel trilogy. Like, they didn't have a plan mapped out from the first movie. You would think that with, you know, the fact that Star Wars is kind of a series that's notable for having trilogies of movies, that they would, before doing the first movie, be like, okay, here is the solid plan that we have going forward for the story. They didn't do that. They winged it. They winged it, and they fucking failed. It's just, I'm sure I have much more to say about this, but I'm just going to move on because we have only a couple more left and I want to start to hit the rack. However, after Rise of Skywalker released, I felt numb. Here's my Rise of Skywalker story going into The Mandalorian, right? Before Rise of Skywalker came out, I was really excited. I was like, oh my god, this is a really good time for me to go back and watch all of the Star Wars films again. So I went back and I watched through every Star Wars movie and I had an amazing time. It was really good revisiting these movies that I watched in my childhood, and I felt like I could really appreciate them with a new analytical lens as an adult. Not all of it was the best, but a lot of it was good. You know, I had a good time with rewatching Star Wars. And when I watched The Last Jedi, I had a lot of hope for Rise of Skywalker, and Rise of Skywalker completely crushed me. I was of the opinion, I was like, Rise of Skywalker was so bad that it made me hate Star Wars in retrospect. And you shouldn't hate Star Wars just because Rise of Skywalker is bad. Where'd you rank Revenge of the Sith? Revenge of the Sith is A tier. It is A tier. But anyway, as I was saying, Rise of Skywalker made me really start to resent Star Wars again. I felt like I had wasted my time. Because that like finale was so horrible. But then a little thing called The Mandalorian came out. When this was first being developed, I did not give a shit about it. I was like, The Mandalorian? You're telling me that guy's not Boba Fett? Because I saw his helmet and I was like, oh, what, are they doing a Boba Fett show? And it's like, no, we're not doing a Boba Fett show. We're doing a Mandalorian show. What's The Mandalorian? I have no idea. They were talked about a little bit in the main movies, but not that much. But I gotta say, The Mandalorian, it surprised me, man. It surprised me. After Rise of Skywalker, I was so low on Star Wars. And I wasn't even gonna watch The Mandalorian. I'll be completely honest. But the 6 episodes had finished releasing. I think it was 6 in the first season. And when they finished releasing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to watch it because I'm curious. I'm curious like what this is. I don't know what this character is. And I know everybody's freaking out about this Baby Yoda character. Seems kind of interesting. Why not? I'll sit down and I'll watch it. I'll go in with zero expectations. The Mandalorian is probably some of the best Star Wars content that we've gotten since Disney has bought Star Wars. However, not including Rogue One, obviously. Rogue One is like baller. But like, I'm talking like everything else. The Mandalorian is some of the best fucking shit that we've gotten out of Star Wars in forever. I guess I could say, strictly speaking, new shit. Like, covering stuff that we've never seen before. Rogue One kind of covers a lot of bases of, like, stuff we didn't see but we knew about. But Mandalorian is, like, all new shit. The place in the timeline that it takes place at, like, happening after the original trilogy is really cool because we really didn't get to see what happens after the original trilogy to like the galaxy and stuff like that. So in general, I love The Mandalorian. I'm gonna put it in S tier. I think I'm actually gonna put it above Empire Strikes Back. I know that might be sacrilege, but I'm doing it anyway. Mandalorian Season 1 is a really good standalone Star Wars thing. And I think it highlights some of the best parts of Star Wars for me. It's weird because up to this point, right? Up to the point that Mandalorian was released, the only thing that we've ever seen from Star Wars is that it was all like these grand, like chosen one type stories, right? It was these big event plots. But the coolest thing about Star Wars is the universe, and we don't get to see the universe that much beyond like the main characters. And getting a show like The Mandalorian that kind of highlights the thing about The Mandalorian that sorry, I'm brain fart. The best thing about The Mandalorian is that it highlights the universe of Star Wars in a really like down-to-earth way, you know? In a lot of these Star Wars films, right, you know, you only have 2 hours to tell your story. So they kind of rush through a lot of planets a lot of the time, and we don't get to revisit a lot of them. Like, for example, Last Jedi, there's this planet that is, like, covered in salt that we see at the last part of the movie. And it's a really cool-looking planet, but we only get to see it for the finale of that movie. We've never returned to it before, ever. Unless you count, like, video games or something like that, but I don't when I'm talking about this. The Mandalorian, like, we get to see all of these unique planets, and they kind of take their time on them. There's entire plot lines that are focused on one planet that we just get to see, like, all of these new aliens and creatures that, like, fit right in with, like, the Star Wars lore that we already know and love. It's so good, man. Out of nowhere, after Rise of Skywalker dropped, I thought I'd never like Star Wars again. Like, I'm not watching any Star Wars shit. Then I watched Mandalorian, and I was like, actually, this is kind of fire. I thought it was Planet Hoth at first. No, it's a totally different planet. The Salt Planet. But yeah, and also, not only do we get to see just more of the universe in a really, like, in a way that we've really never seen it before, in, like, a lot less of a grandiose way, we also get, like, these cool new characters like Mando and Grogu. Like, Mando and Grogu are my favorite fucking Star Wars duo right now. And I don't think that I'll stop with that opinion anytime soon. I genuinely think that Mando, or I forget what his actual name is. I just call him Mando because that's what everybody else does. Mando is probably like my favorite fucking character in Star Wars. Just because he's not the chosen one. He's just a Mandalorian. He's one of the last Mandalorian. Din Djarin, that's his name. Din Djarin is probably one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. If not my favorite character. I like that he starts out as like this cold bounty hunter, and he eventually strikes up like this friendship with Baby Yoda or Grogu. Like, it's adorable, it's sweet, it's cute. It's action-packed. I really like the characters. It's great. And speaking on that, I'll follow that up with Mandalorian Season 2. I'll say this, Mandalorian Season 2 I don't think is as good as Mandalorian Season 1, but I think it is very good. I'll put it right under Empire Strikes Back. What's great about Mandalorian Season 2 is that with the success of Season 1, they were like, okay, yeah, let's make more Mandalorian. So Season 2 is a lot more of the same. It's just the same good old Mandalorian content we've come to know and love. And it's got a lot of really good isolated stories. But now they're starting to reach into the extended universe a little bit. So we got characters like Ahsoka Tano making an appearance. And like some other people from Clone Wars that I'm not really familiar with, but other people were excited. I'll be honest, the people from Clone Wars, I don't really know that well, but it didn't really hamper my experience. Like, I know who Ahsoka is, right? Like, that was pretty exciting. Seeing Ahsoka in live action was really cool. Like, I'm glad, because there's a lot of big Ahsoka fans out there, and for the first time ever, like, they're showcasing a lot of these characters in live action, and it's really fun. I like it a lot. I like season 2 because it brings in more Mandalorian characters. It does that too. And also, Mandalorian season 2 also has the return of Boba Fett for the first time since the original trilogy. They bring back Boba Fett. They don't explain how he's back, but, you know, they explain in his show later. Mandalorian season 2 is good. It can feel a little bit bloated with the amount of cameos and crossovers that they've done. But as somebody like me who I have not seen a lot of Clone Wars, Mandalorian season 2 is still really, really enjoyable. Also, that final cameo made so much sense and was so crazy that it happened. And I love that it mirrors Darth Vader and Rogue One in a lot of ways, the way that they shot it. So amazing. I don't even want to see who it is, even though everybody knows who it is. Because if you haven't watched it yet, just watch Mandalorian, dude. It's awesome. The Mandalorian season 2 would have been better if they revealed crucial plot details through Fortnite. Yeah, that's true. It would have been better. Hey Salty, your GF is talking about you and how sweet you are and how lucky she is. Oh my god. Where? On Twitter? I saw that she was texting me, but I couldn't check because I was streaming. Oh my god. Oh, she's so adorable. I love her so much. Jess, oh my gosh, I need to tell her that I'm streaming. I need to wrap it up. I want to send her a text and let her know I love her. She's so sweet. I'll probably see it, but somehow not endorse Disney Plus. Well, you know, there's plenty of ways of watching content out there. There's plenty of ways. That's all I'll say. Yeah, but I love my girlfriend so much. She's so wonderful. Anyway, back to memeing. Can we get another stream with Jess? I want to stream with Jess again coming up at some point. She's just been very busy with wrapping up her schooling. So, you know, maybe when we live together, we can do it occasionally. We'll be around each other a whole lot more. So, yeah. We do want to move in with each other in like a year or so. So, very excited about it. Anyway. So yeah, Mandalorian season 2 is fire. And my girlfriend's awesome. Next. Okay, so I know this didn't come out next, but I want to talk about Visions last because it's kind of a whole different beast. Book of Boba Fett. Now, a lot of people felt like this was kind of mid, and I agree, but I'm gonna put it over Last Jedi. It kind of pains me to do that because I wish actually, yeah, no, I'll put it over Last Jedi. I think Book of Boba Fett has a lot going for it. It kind of expands on, you know, Boba after he appeared in The Mandalorian. Now, my big problem, though, with Book of Boba Fett is that they should not have called this Book of Boba Fett, because the best episodes are when Boba Fett is not in the show. Isn't that fucked? The show called Book of Boba Fett, when Boba Fett is not on screen, the show is really good. Isn't that insane? Also, the Book of Boba Fett is starting something that I'd like to call the MCU problem, where if you want to understand Mandalorian season 3, which they are currently producing, it's in production right now. If you want to understand Mandalorian season 3, you have to watch Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett should not have been advertised as a solo series. It should have been advertised as a spin-off to The Mandalorian, because that's what it is. It's a spin-off of The Mandalorian. It's not its own thing. Book of Boba Fett is mid, but it goes in great. No, genuinely, let me explain myself, right? Book of Boba Fett is mid, but as a spin-off to The Mandalorian, it's actually kind of good. Because, like, Boba Fett is cool in this show for the first 2 episodes. Then, later on, he's off-screen, and we get, for some reason, Din Djarin from The Mandalorian, the main character of The Mandalorian, is in Book of Boba Fett, and he gets an entire episode of Book of Boba Fett where Boba Fett's not there, and it's one of the best episodes of Book of Boba Fett, because it's just a Mandalorian episode. The Mandalorian episodes of Book of Boba Fett are my favorite episodes. Not your fault, though, it's true. Yeah, no, no, genuinely, Book of Boba Fett as its own thing, as a solo series, is mid. As a spin-off to Mandalorian, it's actually pretty good. That is my take. I also hate, like I said, it's the MCU problem, right? Where people who are fans of The Mandalorian and don't watch Book of Boba Fett will now not understand Mandalorian Season 3 because crucial plot details to understand Mandalorian Season 3 are in Book of Boba Fett. Like, you have to watch Boba Fett if you want to understand Season 3 of Mandalorian. It's the same sort of shit that the MCU does, where what it'll do is it'll start, like, storylines in one movie series, and then they'll conclude in another movie series, and if you don't watch, the right movies, you just won't know what's going on. And I hate that. I like that Star Wars has a big expanded universe. I like that, like, there's a lot of crossovers happening, but what I don't like is when I have to watch multiple different series and shows and movies to get the full story. If I watch Mandalorian Season 3, it's because I like Mandalorian. It's because I watched Season 1 and 2. I don't want to have to watch a completely separate show just to understand Mandalorian Season 3. Does that make sense? Am I insane for saying this take? I feel like I'm valid in this take. But yeah, that makes sense. No, I'm valid. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the validation, Flarky64. Like, originally, big crossover shit like the MCU was super exciting. Like, I liked it a lot. I thought it was really cool. But when it leaks into stuff like Star Wars, like, again, I'm not opposed to crossovers. The crossovers in Mandalorian Season 2 were really good. But they were really good because you didn't have to have prior knowledge of who these characters are to enjoy the show. Like, I didn't know the characters from Clone Wars in Mandalorian Season 2. It didn't hamper my enjoyment of Mandalorian Season 2. To me, they were just one-off characters that I've just never met before. What's great about Star Wars is sometimes you'll just see a one-off character and be like, oh, that character is pretty cool. I wonder if they have a history. Then you go on the Star Wars Wikipedia and they have like a whole history from A to Z. That's another thing I really like about Star Wars, is that the universe itself is just very interesting. Some characters that appear on screen for like 3 seconds have like a whole biography that you can look up. What's the name of the little blue guy that plays the piano in Star Wars? Max Rebo? Sorry, it's so late I keep forgetting the names of characters. Max Rebo is one of my favorite Star Wars characters because he's only on screen in the movies and shows a total of 10 seconds, but he has like this crazy amount of lore to him. Like, he has so much lore to him that you can just like find online. It's really interesting. But what's great about it is, like, Max Rebo shows up in Book of Boba Fett, but you don't need to know who Max Rebo is to enjoy Book of Boba Fett on its own. What you do need to enjoy Book of Boba Fett is to watch Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. Also, this is relevant, but Max Rebo, I believe, right now is canonically dead. He died in Book of Boba Fett. There was an explosion. He was seemingly caught in the explosion and vaporized. But a lot of people have been saying that. Oh man, I really like... I'm sorry, I got distracted by the music. It's so fun. I love it. A lot of people have been saying that Max Rebo died in Book of Boba Fett because he was vaporized by a big explosion. However, I do not think that is true. I don't think that that's true at all. Because this isn't the first time that Max Rebo has been in an explosion or like a dangerous situation. Max Rebo was a part of like Jabba's crew, Jabba the Hutt, like playing the music and shit. And everybody died on that ship except for him for some reason. He made it out of it. Okay? I genuinely think that Max Rebo can make it out of Book of Boba Fett. Max Rebo will show up again. I swear to you. I swear to you he will. He's not dead. Also, I hope he shows up in Obi-Wan. Because Obi-Wan, for a bit, takes place on Tatooine. And it would line up that Max Rebo would be in Tatooine. So, yeah. That, or maybe we could get like a cyber Max Rebo. Like maybe Max Rebo can be like reconstructed. Something I'd love to see. I just got here. What's happening? We're doing a Star Wars tier list. We're talking about Star Wars. So if you don't like Star Wars, I'm sorry. Something I really hope that Disney and, well, I almost said Disney and Marvel, but they're the same thing. Something I hope that Disney starts doing with Star Wars and Marvel is making shows that aren't about like main characters. Let me explain. Especially in Star Wars. Something that me and my friends have always talked about is how interesting a Star Wars show about a character that isn't in action-packed situations could be. Like, imagine a whole show about like a guy that plays music, like a musician in the Star Wars universe, and like him going from planet to planet and like the drama of being a musician during like sci-fi wartime. Like, how cool that would be. Like, how interesting that could be as a concept. Or maybe like Marvel. Like, me and my friends have this thing that we always joke about, where we really wish that Marvel would make an MCU canon mockumentary about like Thanos' snap and how it affected like the civilians that lived on Earth, right? We want it really, really, really bad, like a mockumentary, and you can even make it with like a comedic flair. It's a mockumentary that takes place in the MCU, so it's like canon to the MCU, but it's just about like regular everyday people and what happened to them during the snap and all that stuff. And you can make it a comedy, make it funny. You could get a bunch of comedians on. It just sucks because it seems like Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, they're only interested in making like action movies and stuff with like the MCU brand and the Star Wars brand, and that sucks because they have access to a huge universe of characters. Like there's a lot of room for a lot of different type of content. You know, like Kylo Ren and Undercover Boss. Yeah, that one that there was an SNL skit where Kylo Ren was like an undercover boss, and me and my friends have all mutually agreed that that is canon to Star Wars, and we want it to be because it's funny. But yeah, I would really love to see a Marvel movie that isn't about a superhero. You know what I mean? So the very funny thing is that Marvel pulled a bait and switch and did something like that, because after Infinity War, Cloak and Dagger Season 2 had a trailer that talked about people disappearing, but it turned out to be kidnappings. Yeah, that sucks. Creatively bankrupt. We need more weird stories with different genres. Yeah, at the very least, I hear that Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness does kind of have more horror elements than the average MCU thing, so that's a step in the right direction, but we just... Like, look, I know that Marvel, it's focused on superheroes, like, I get it. But you have a whole universe that you can just put shit in, like, put different types of movies in. And you're not gonna do that? You don't even have to worry about, like, the Snap documentary movie like interfering with any current plot lines. Like just make it a comedy and make it inconsequential, but just make it funny, you know? We need a movie about the guy with the laser on his cock. Make him canon, Marvel. A Marvel movie based off of CEO of Sex, Ned. Yo, we need a CEO of Sex movie. Yeah. There was a Cloak and Dagger show? Yeah, there was a Cloak and Dagger show, but nobody watched it. It ran for 2 seasons on ABC, and nobody watched it. Anyway, before we end off for the night, I have something I'd like to talk about. And you all knew that this was coming. Star Wars Visions. Star Wars Visions is so cool. Wait, people are getting ads, so I will drink some water for a second. Star Wars Visions is probably, next to Mandalorian, my favorite thing to come out of the Disney acquisition. It got me thinking, right? Star Wars Visions, if you don't know, it is a Disney Plus Star Wars show. That all it is a non-canon, emphasis on non-canons. None of it is canon to Star Wars, like the current Star Wars universe that Disney is working with. None of it's canon to Star Wars. It's a bunch of anthology animated things, animated stories set in like the quote-unquote Star Wars universe, or inspired by Star Wars, right? They're all set in like different universes. They're not canon in the main Star Wars universe, so you don't have to worry going in. You don't even have to be familiar with Star Wars to watch Star Wars Visions. It's just a bunch of short anime films that are inspired by Star Wars. And you know what? It's fucking baller. Star Wars Visions, if you haven't seen it and the concept interests you, watch it. It is amazing. Recently, I think it got confirmed that Star Wars Visions is getting a season 2, and I'm having all of the boys and gals and NBs over my house to watch it. When Star Wars Visions first came out, literally I had all of my friends over, and we watched it all in one night, and it was like one of the most fun experiences that we've had watching Star Wars together. Like we for a while we were doing Star Wars watch parties where we were all getting together and we were watching Star Wars. When Visions came out, thankfully we had all like, you know, made sure that we were COVID free, and we had a little get together, and it was awesome because we're all huge nerds that love anime and we love Star Wars. So it was like perfect. And a lot of our friends who had never watched Star Wars were going to these watch parties, so they were finally familiar with Star Wars, and we all just got together and watched it. It was amazing. Oh, it's like a non-canon Animatrix? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a lot like the Animatrix, actually, except it's not canon. But you know what's great about it too? Originally, I was kind of sad that it wasn't canon because there's a lot of like really good concepts in here that I would love to see make it into Star Wars, like legitimately. But at the end of the day, because it's not canon, it's not shackled to canon, if that makes sense. A big problem with having these big universes like Star Wars and the MCU is that sometimes you can kind of be shackled to a lot of different things. You can't really do whatever you want. It has to fit within that universe and not be unbelievable or break canon in any specific way. With Star Wars Visions, they weren't shackled to canon, so they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. They can make characters super overpowered so it looks cool when they're animated, or they can make characters that wouldn't fit in the current canon, or like reinterpretations of other characters that like wouldn't make sense if we saw them. It's actually really cool. The first short film in Star Wars Visions is like a samurai Jedi story where it's like in black and white. It's in full black and white. It's set on an alien planet, and there's this like Jedi that's walking around from town to town, and he's not really helping anybody. And when they take out their lightsabers for the first time, the lightsabers are the only things that have color in the entire short film. Like, it's black and white, so all of the blaster lasers and the lightsabers are the only things that have color. And it looks so awesome. And what's great is that, again, since they're not shackled to canon, they don't have to use pre-existing characters if they want to use Sith. They make up their own Sith characters. They make up their own evil Siths and good Jedis. They don't have to do whatever to fit in. They can just do whatever, and it's awesome. I actually need to think. What studios? Do you guys remember what studios did anime short films? Because what's cool about this too is, like the Animatrix, everything's in its own unique style. So all of the short films are done by different studios, except for one. I know that Trigger, I think Trigger did 2? If I'm not mistaken, I think Trigger did 2. Trigger is 1. Okay, Trigger is 1. Trigger only did 1. But there were some studios that did 2. And pretty much all of the short films are really fun and good. I think a lot of people don't like the one about the kid in the band, but I thought that was fun. I genuinely thought that all of them were good. Like, I don't think that there was a single one that was, like, shitty. Oh, okay, here's a list of them somebody gave me. So there's Kamikaze Doga, which, if you're aware, Kamikaze Doga, I believe, helped animate the JoJo 3D CGI anime openings. So if you're familiar with that style, then, you know, they did that. So Kamikaze Doga, Studio Colorido, Geno Studio, Trigger, Kinema Citrus, Production IG, and Science Saru. The band one was hilarious. I liked the band one. A lot of people said that was their least favorite, but I liked it. I feel like this is one of those things where it's hard for me to pick a quote-unquote least favorite. But yeah, Star Wars Visions goes in S tier. I don't know if it's better than like all of these, but like there's just so many cool fresh concepts and it's such a fun watch. There was one of the short films in Visions that I actually really want to see a follow-up to. It was one, I forget who animated it, but the concept was like there was a bunch of Jedi meeting up in one place, and then it's revealed like that like a Sith gathered them there to like murder them. And that was really cool. And the animation style for that one was really, really like clean. There's no episodes of Visions that have bad animation, by the way. If you're worried that like one of the studios phoned it in, they did not. They went hard on this. I'm curious, how did you feel at the end of the Clone Wars season 7 finale? I'm sorry to tell you this. I said it earlier. I am not caught up to Clone Wars. I'm still watching through the animated shows on my own time. I'm sorry. They weren't as big they weren't as big of a thing for me growing up. But yeah. So apologies. I am working through it though. When I get time, I watch episodes. But I hear that season 7 of Clone Wars is like fire. So I really need to catch up. But yeah, this is my Star Wars tier list. These ones are amazing, and then everything else is just kind of bleh. But that's my Star Wars tier list. Thank you for watching. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with my picks on this one. I think I did a pretty good job. I really like the one about the robot called Toby. Yo, yeah, the robot one was really cute. Inspired by like oh my god, that was Japanese robot guy. Oh my god, never mind. Rocket Boy something. Oh my god, robot. Ugh, I'm dumb as shit. Astro Boy. Sorry, it's so late. It's like almost 4 a.m. Sorry for streaming so late, guys. I guess I just got so excited that this is my 30th day stream streak that I just needed to stream a little bit extra. I definitely need to break this stream up into multiple VOD uploads because nobody's watching a 5-hour-long stream. Definitely the MCU tier list has to be its own VOD upload, like separate from everything else, because that took me like an hour and a half. But yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, guys. I really appreciate you guys celebrating the 30th day stream streak with me. Even though this is a more mellow stream, I really like doing these activity streams. I love playing video games, I do. But I also like doing these like fun activities that I don't normally do. How long has this been going? I don't know, but we have been streaming for almost 5 hours. If that gives you context. If you post an entire 5-hour VOD, that's true. I don't know. Anyway, it's almost 4 a.m. I'm gonna head to sleep, guys. So, love y'all very much. I really appreciate all of the love tonight. I appreciate the late stream. I had a rough day, and this brought me out of it, so it's been nice. Oh, of course, Johnny. I apologize that you had such a rough day. I hope that it got better. Good night, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Be sure to drink your water and satiate your stomach. All right. Good night.